Hello, welcome to Skye's Sweaty Record Review, the only YouTube channel dedicated to reviewing new albums after one listen on an elliptical at the YMCA, hosted by a French professor. As I said in the last episode, this has been a great week for music. At least two great albums have come out, which I will discuss on Thursday, but if I were to talk about them, that would go against the spirit of the show. So instead of going with something that I know and love, I went with something I'd never heard of once again. And this is the album Kim Petras Turn Off the Lights Volume 1. You may be able to tell I've got Halloween fever. Worked on Halloween costumes and decorating the house all week. And I don't know. So when I was scrolling through the stacks of the new music that came out last week, or this week, on Tidal, I saw this weird, skeleton hand with long fingernails. And that's the cover of Kim Petras' album, Turn Out the Lights. So I said, well, hey, let's listen to it. Let's see what it is. Well, what is it? That's always my favorite question when listening to these new records. It's interesting. I mean, I would call it electropop. So, think kind of Kylie Minogue-ish style music, like well-produced electronic music with kind of catchy, breathy vocals. But it's interesting because of this Halloween thematic. Part of me wonders, why not have Halloween-themed pop albums? I mean, if pop albums aren't usually going to be about something important, why not have them themed to the time of year they come out? But she does something interesting with this. She takes the thematics of Halloween and then mixes that in with more traditional pop music, love songs, etc. So a pretty consistent theme in this record is kind of like lust as like a kind of a boogeyman, something kind of dangerous. Usually Kim's referring to herself. So she puts herself in this position as kind of a Halloween villain or character who could kill you, but, not actually kill you, but make you fall in love with her, whatever. She eats your heart. And that's one of the things that she says. There's two songs kind of along this general thematics in particular. Close Your Eyes and Turn Out the Lights, the titular song from the album. Both of these have this general idea that, scary things happen when you close your eyes or turn out the lights. And this is kind of, kind of darkly sexy usage of Halloween thematics. But then later, like in a song that's called, what's it? Oh, Tell Me It's a Nightmare. She uses the thematics of ghosts to represent feeling of loss at the end of a relationship. So tell me it's a nightmare, meaning tell me that this relationship isn't really over. So it's kind of nice how it goes between those things. Kind of mixed in with all of that is this interesting production, which varies, I would say, in between sort of a new Madonna, Kylie Minogue pop. Not particularly interesting, but listenable and danceable. If you like that, I would check out in particular Close Your Eyes, which is the most sort of poppy song on the record. And then more to my taste is a kind of Justice light. Of course, Justice is usually Daft Punk light, but this kind of production with kind of gritty, chopped up synths. This is seen on a song called TRANSylvania, which only has a grunt and moans as vocals. You kind of have arpeggios and great atmosphere and lots of phasers, and I really like that stuff. So if you like that kind of French touchy sound, although no one in the production is French, that's also on this record. And then sprinkled throughout, is this sparse usage of Halloween elements, which I think makes it fun. I mean, I'm going to listen to it with my kids at Halloween because, there's a song with heartbeats and harpsichords as its primary background. That's the song I Don't Want to Die. The opening song is the pretty direct rip off of John Carpenter's Halloween theme. And then maybe the cutest thing is on the song Turn Off the Lights, Elvira makes an appearance, which is fun and is kind of tied in, I would say, with Michael Jackson and Thriller and Vincent Price, and it has that kind of feel. An idea that I've been working on that a fan of the show, Mookie Fan 1980, suggested was to have one track that sort of ties everything together. So this is going to be called the Where It All Comes Together song. I could probably say that better. the song where it all comes together. So if you like this one song, you'll probably like the whole record. And this is a pretty thematically consistent album. So in this case, I'm going with the song In the Next Life. I'm not giving it my stamp yet, because I don't know if it's a great song, but it's the most exemplary song from it. It has a little bit of everything. The chorus is very Madonna-ish, but then it kind of goes into a verse that's a little bit more of a club grind, a little bit more of that Justice style. And then there's a little bit of like faux theremin music to make it sound a little bit Halloween-y. There's a nice driving bass. The lyrics are a little bit cross between like an ego trip and sort of like self-analysis. And then it cuts into German, because apparently she's German, which I didn't know when I was listening. So if I had to give this my 3-word review, and I thought about this, it's not too hard this time, I would call it sexy Halloween pop, which that sounds better than the album actually is, because that sounds really good. But I'd say it's sexy Halloween pop, but not as good as that sounds, but still quite good. Speaking of biography, so she is from Germany. Apparently, she's also trans, which I didn't know from listening to the record. So, I don't know. That was interesting. I've never... I imagine that's, something that is written a lot about with her, but I just listened to the whole thing and was like, all right, I like Kylie Minogue too. And then at the very end of looking through the credits, it turns out that it's produced by that guy who sexually abused Kesha, who changed his name from Dr. Luke to Made in China. So that was kind of a bummer, because I don't know. I don't think I want to support that guy. But anyways, he produced a good record. And actually most of it's produced by this other group, I believe, called Von Oliver. I don't know who they are, but they are not accused sexual harassers. So there it is. There's Skye's sexy, sweaty review for see, this is why I probably should edit. For Kim Petras' album, Turn Off the Lights Part 1. And I do think that it caught right at the end. It started to get some momentum, and then it cut off. It's a very short record, so maybe Volume 2 will be great, and maybe I will review it. Of course, it's got to be a red.